I think ultimately the movie could be seen as a companion piece to the book, where the book is this kind of wonderful piece of nonfiction, the history of the fast food industry and a lot of the facts and, figures that you probably aren't aware of. The movie is, it's a fictional, dramatization, I think, of these people's lives, the lives of different workers we kind of encounter at different places on the fast food chain, I guess you'd say. The immigrant workers coming in from Mexico who work in the meat industry, a teenage girl who works behind the counter at the fast food restaurant, and a kind of a mid-level marketing executive who gets kind of caught up in this thing. So you see it from different perspectives. It was Eric Schlosser's idea, actually, to kind of throw out the book and concentrate on making it a character piece. I mean, once he suggested that, then I felt like I had something to offer to that, because that's most of my movies I consider just kind of character pieces, and that seemed logical to me to make a fictional. I think in a way, through fiction, I think you can get at a truth. The film's very realistic in a way, but we're not kind of, we can be dramatic and make our points in other ways too. So it seemed like an effective way to tell this story. It's such a vast industry. There's so many issues and aspects to it that this is just one point of entry. But I think it's a point of entry that cinema does really well. It puts these people up on the screen and asks you to care about them. If you say this is the star of our movie, you find your way into their story. So I think it's rare that person is an undocumented worker from Mexico, in mainstream American cinema. So I was really proud to have that opportunity to show what's behind the burger. I think everyone kind of knows what's in front of it, but our movie, we're very specific on what's behind it. And it's not just the health issues. It's really the workers and the global ramifications, I guess, of the industry. When we say fast food nation, it doesn't mean just the fast food meal. It's really more of a mindset. It's kind of this kind of a corporate mindset that puts profits above the specifics of an industry, or doesn't kind of acknowledge the ramifications. I mean, you can take an industry that like fast food that's very cruel to the animals, bad for the environment, bad for the workers, and ultimately the end product is bad. And you can say, how could that be? I mean, it's a lose, 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 lose. How can it persist? How can it be profitable? But that's just the point. It is profitable because they've squeezed every element and exploited every element of that. Now, there is an alternative to all those. All those aspects could be more healthy, could be better. And I think consumers can demand that, but they just have to know that they can demand that. We vote every day with our consumer dollars. You don't get to vote in elections, but every now and then. But you do have a voice as a consumer, and I think that's where, if there's any hope in this world for that turning around. But I think people are more and more aware of these issues. That there are these global ramifications, behind your consumer dollars. So. Fast Food Nation was it's really just a mindset of a big machine that operates kind of without a soul necessarily. But you see it in architecture, you see it in everything. There's a short-term thinking that's profitable, but a long-term approach that's maybe not sustainable, very healthy, or very soulful, very human. It's the difference between something that's cool, or you would want to be around for 100 years, say a building, or just design a box that is cheap as possible. Yeah. It's like one kind of lifts the soul, one just sort of houses you. But it's more profitable maybe to do one than the other. So you got to have an injection of humanity in there, and everyone benefits. I think one of the big challenges of being a human in the modern age is to battle against this disconnect that is very it's a product of just the way we live, a consumer society and a fast food society, that you can easily be disconnected and not see yourself as part of a society or in connection with each other, or the biggest disconnect is from ourselves. So you have to battle it on a human level. And so I've always tried to depict, people who I think are just, living their lives and, on a scale, I think, on a scale that feels like real life to me. You know, I haven't made any superhero movies or think too out there. I deal from a place, and it's just personality or lack of something, you know, on my part, that what's in front of me seems to be what I feel comfortable dealing with, but maybe I'm just not that imaginative, yeah.